One of the questions we get asked a lot and that we're going to talk about today is, what are your macros? What do you eat? When do you eat it? And how does that all connect and make sense with your real estate schedule? Because we're obviously parents, we have a business we run. How do you cram this all into one day? We're going to share that with you today. First of all, why don't you explain macros? Just to a very basic explanation of it.
What are macros? So macros, when people say I'm going to count my macros, you're literally counting the amount of grams of protein, carbs, and fat that you eat every day. So to make it very, very simple, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat do you have at each meal? That's
macros. Yep, exactly. The second thing we want to introduce to you other than macros is what we call carb cycling. And you'll understand this a little bit more here in a little bit, but carb cycling just basically means that there's some days where you have lower carbs, there's some days that you have higher carbs. This is very effective to keep your metabolism from getting just stuck, right? Like a lot of people, they will diet, they bring their calories really low and they just stall and plateau losing weight. And it's because their metabolism often has adjusted to their new diet, right? Your metabolism adjusts very, very fast. And your body's just saying, hey, I want to preserve the amount of fat I've got left. I don't want to go down to nothing. And so I'm just simply not going to burn any more fat off. And that's where carb cycling really, really helps, because you got higher days, you got lower days. The easiest way to incorporate carb cycling is just have what we call a training day diet and a non-training day diet. So the training day diet is the one you will follow when you're going to the gym, when you're lifting weights. That does not mean cardio, that just means when you're training and lifting weights, okay? The non-training day could be cardio days or any day that you're not lifting weights. So just gonna have a training day and a non-training day.
And to be really clear on this, carb cycling is really effective when, say you've gone into, a caloric deficit, which means you're eating less calories in order to lose weight, in order to lose body fat. So after a time, it's very possible, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, that your body weight kind of stalls out. Most people get really frustrated at this point and they say, oh, it's not working anymore, right? That's very, very common. But what is really, really helpful then at that point is if you've cut your carbs pretty low, especially, add 1 or 2 days in of this higher carb day where you're eating more carbs on those days, hence this training day and non-training day, and it will totally kickstart your metabolism, and it will actually help you lose more weight, burn more fat off your body than staying in that same caloric deficit with the exact same macros every single day.
The other thing to remember too is you're not going to need as many calories on a non-train day as you would on a train day. So that's where carb cycling also makes a ton of sense there. Go ahead and grab a pen and paper and you're going to want to take some notes. So we're going to give you some macros targets to hit, okay? So you're going to take just your goal weight, just to keep things really simple, and you're going to times it by 1 gram per pound of body weight to get your protein number. So if you weigh 250 pounds, but you want to weigh 220 pounds, 220 grams of carbs, or of protein rather, is your macronutrient target for protein, okay? So again, I weigh 250, I want to weigh 220, 220 is 220 grams of protein.
On the carb side, so carbs, you want a little bit more, especially on training days. Your body, your muscles, they are built and you run on carbs. Carbs are not a bad thing. So for carbs, you want to factor about 1.5 grams of carbs per pound of goal body weight on a regular day. So if you're, what would it be? So for round numbers, let's say you weigh 220 pounds, you want to weigh 200 pounds, you're then going to take 200 times 1.5, which would then be 300 grams of carbs. There you go.
Yeah, and then for your non-training days, go ahead and divide that by half. So if 300 was your target for a training day, it'd be 150 on the non-training day.
Hope you've been taking notes.
The last one is fats, maybe the easiest one, but just take your goal weight, times it by 0.33. So I can't do that mental math for you, but you can kind of figure it out, I guess. Well, if you're 200 pounds, it'd be what, 66 grams of fat?
Yeah,
okay, so there's like a nice rounded, easy number for you. Okay, let's talk about food choices now that we've gotten macronutrients dialed in. A lot of people tell you it's just calories in, calories out, and that is true to an extent, but nutrient quality definitely matters if you care about body composition. If you just want to get skinny, then don't worry about this, but if you want to get like sculpted and shaped, this becomes very, very important. And also if you want to be healthy.
So what are the key proteins? Like what kind of proteins do we incorporate into our diets?
So we keep things pretty simple. We eat a lot of steak, sirloin steak. We eat a lot of chicken breast. We eat a lot of ground chicken, ground turkey, and then we eat 96.4 ground beef, meaning it's 96% lean, 4% fat. You can often find that at like Safeway, QFC, things like that. We eat grass-fed meat whenever possible. You can eat salmon as well. Salmon's pretty high in fat, but it's good fats. We'll have salmon like once a week or every 2 weeks. We call it Salmon Sunday. It's kind of a fun thing.
It's also expensive, so it's it's really tough to eat like this. One hack that we did recently, because I've been buying ground chicken and going through like 8 pounds of ground chicken approximately every single week. And so what we actually did was we invested in a meat grinder. So we found one for I think $199, which is a lot, but we bought a meat grinder, and then you can get chicken breast from Costco for $3.99 a pound. Chicken breast is significantly cheaper than ground chicken, and then we got the meat grinder. So we literally will take the chicken breast and grind it into ground chicken and then cook that every single week. So little tip for you there. In regards to carbs, let's talk carb sources, because not all carbs are created equal, y'all. Rice, jasmine or basmati rice are our absolute favorites. Potatoes, good old Yukon potatoes, or like those little small red potatoes are delicious. Sweet potatoes and oats. Those are our kind of main 4 or 5 sources of carbs that we
Why not brown rice?
Look, brown rice, whole wheat bread, they are so processed. They are much more processed than a plain, simple white rice. The food industry has really brainwashed a lot of people over the last 20, 30, 40 years into thinking that having these whole wheat options are actually better when they're not. So no on the brown rice.
The other thing is like, have you ever tried to eat 2 cups of brown rice? Good
So
luck.
dry.
It digests very slowly, which is not optimal. Like if you're going to really try and prioritize your physique and how you're going to look, digestibility becomes a very, very important variable to look at. Brown rice, brown breads, I guess you would call them, multigrain breads, they don't digest very well or very fast, and that is not good for you at all. So it's a huge myth really in the fitness space. The other like couple carbs that we didn't add on there, you love rice cakes.
Yep.
So those are fair game. And if you're really wanting some bread, Ezekiel bread is awesome as well. Totally good to go.
Sprouted grain bread.
Yep.
Exactly. What about fats?
On the fats, my favorite is avocado. Like I just love the taste of avocado, but it does have some carbs in it, so you gotta make sure you're counting that as well. Olive oil is fair game. Rachel's favorite is peanut butter, of course, and then egg yolks. Any of those totally work. Don't go eat like big, heavy saturated fats, no fatty cuts of meat. So what are our exact macros? They change all the time. So this is just like a moment in time. We have a fitness coach who pivots our macros based on our goals and our progress each week. But because we've been asked what they are, we'll just share them with you. Do you want to share yours?
Absolutely. So like Mike mentioned before, we do a training day macros and then we do a non-training day macro. So a training day is defined as a day that you actually go in and lift weights, resistance training. If I go in and do 20 or 30 minutes of stairs, that is not a training day. So I have 4 training days a week, 3 non-training days a week. And my training day macros are 180 grams of protein, 125 grams of carbs, and 40 grams of fats. So I am working to build some muscle, which is why my protein is a little bit higher on that. Non-training days is 150 grams of protein, 90 grams of carbs, so a little much less, and then 60 grams of fat, so a little bit more on that.
For mine, the training day is 575 grams of carbs, 280 grams of protein, 60 grams of fats. Non-training day is 300 grams carbs, 280 grams protein, 80 grams of fat. So big difference on the carbs on the non-training days.
When it comes to weight training schedule, we get these questions a lot, and so it's important to us that we answer really transparently. A lot of people think that doing cardio constantly is the way to lean out. And ladies, I hate to break it to you, but lifting weights, lifting heavy weights is not going to make you bulky. It's going to make you sculpty, as my friend says. So my training schedule is only 4 days a week. So I go in early Tuesdays and Thursdays before I go into the office. I get up at about 4:15. I'm into the gym by about 4:45, 5 o'clock on those days. It's early days. But I get my workout in and I'm finished and get ready at the gym before I go into the office. Saturdays and Sundays, I can go in early if I have client meetings or if I have things to do. Otherwise, I get to mosey in around 8 or 9 and I get to enjoy my workouts. But Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday are my training days.
I follow just a very simple training schedule. It's 2 days workouts, 1 day off. It just keeps going in that rotation. Okay. Typically work out around 5:30 in the morning, just depending on what day of the week it is. So to wrap this up, we wanted to share with you our top 10 tips to help you implement something similar to what we're doing and how to find some success with it. Because there's a lot of bad information out there. It took us years of sifting through just crappy info to kind of figure out what actually works and what is true. And just want to share some of that with you. So the first tip I've got for you is to track everything you eat in in some kind of app. And that could be MyFitnessPal, whatever it's gonna be. We use Chronometer. We both really like that one. Big fan of how customizable it is. Doesn't really matter though, just what matters is that you set up your macros in that and then you track everything that you put in your mouth. If you eat it, it needs to be in there, plain and simple, okay?
I think one of the hardest things for people is staying consistent with these things, and have to say, like, if you want the results, just like in business, if you want consistent results in real estate, you have to work consistently. Just if you want results in your fitness and health, you have to do these things consistently. Number 2 tip is stick with the food choices that we just talked about. Like, stick with whole foods. The more variants you make off a plan, or more like replacing whole foods with processed foods, they do not digest in your body the same way. So the more you can stick with those foods, the better.
Yeah, don't just start like swapping in tortillas and stuff like that for rice, okay? The third one, get at least 10,000 steps per day. Use a step tracker like we've got Fitbits, and just try to get moving and get 10,000 steps. You can walk 5 to 10 minutes after every one of your meals. I love that for helping with digesting food, kind of getting your energy back if you're sitting at a computer like we are a lot. We're real estate agents, so oftentimes we'll be sitting down on a computer for hours on end. It's really nice to break that up by when you eat your food, then go out for a quick walk and kind of get your mind fresh again and get ready to get back to work.
Exactly right. This is a tough one, but allow yourself, at least for seasons, right? So commit to 8 weeks, commit to 12 weeks, commit to 16 weeks at a time, and only have one free meal all week. This has been a game changer for our fitness. We do consistently now one free meal per week as maintenance, but if I'm going into a cut, or if I'm going into a session, a period of time where I'm really trying to get lean and I'm really trying to kick body fat, I won't have any cheat meals, as they are called, but one off-plan meal a week maximum will absolutely get you results.
Sushi happens to be our favorite one right
Yes,
now. The next one, this is hard for real estate agents. You got to cut out the booze. Oh man, sorry to bust up the party, guys. But if you're serious about your body and your physique and feeling good as well and being mentally sharp, there's no room for alcohol in that plan, okay? Mm-hmm. So you just got to realize that, embrace it, and cut it out. Replace it with Diet Coke, Coke Zero, lots of water, black coffee, things like that.
Yeah. Next one is getting sleep. Another tough one for real estate agents. We're up late negotiating contracts, then we're up early trying to hit the gym, and by the end of the week, we're friggin' exhausted. But if you can commit to getting 6, 7+ hours of sleep every single night, your recovery will skyrocket, your energy will skyrocket, you will absolutely see results. That's when your body is regenerating and taking care of itself. So 6, 7+ hours of sleep every single night, that's it, definitely a top tip.
Key to those early mornings is to get to bed early. We use a bedtime alarm. That alarm goes off at 9:30 p.m. That's when we call it a night and go to sleep. The next one, if you're a man and you're over 30, get tested for testosterone levels, because men drop off very, very quickly once they get into their 30s. This could be like a really big deal to get your hormones right. If you're having a hard time losing fat and you're nailing your plan, you're having a hard time adding muscle and you're nailing your hard workouts, definitely get checked. There's testosterone replacement clinics that can specialize in this. They can help you figure out if this is an issue for you, but take it seriously, get it checked.
I mentioned this before, but like one of our absolute important tips is to focus on weightlifting, to focus on lifting weights as opposed to just cardio. For longevity of your muscles, for bone density, for overall health, resistance training, right? Nothing is built without resistance. Same goes for your muscles, for your bone density. So really focus on lifting weights versus tons of cardio. Implement a training plan. Follow even pre-made plans that you can find for free online. Just follow something where you're lifting more than just your body weight on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, 3 to 4 days a week minimum for lifting. Super important. The next one, don't drink your calories. And I already talked about booze, but I'm also going to throw into that category things like Monster, sugary caffeinated products like Starbucks are definitely a no-go. If you're gonna drink coffee, it needs to be black coffee. You can put stevia in there, but that's about it. Like no creamers, no nothing like that. So a lot of people, when they track what they're actually drinking, it's like 300 to 700 calories a day that they're putting down. And that really adds up. It's gonna make it very hard for you to lose weight.
At the end of the day, like gaining or losing weight is really kind of just a math problem. So if you know that 1 pound of body weight is about 3,500 calories and you're adding in 500 to 700 calories every single day just through what you're drinking, you're actually putting on a pound every week. And then if you're also working out, lifting weights, really no wonder you're not really seeing results, because you're adding in drinking what you're trying to burn off at the same time. And last tip of his top 10 tips to really make this happen, get you results, is to weigh yourself at least every single week. This is really hard, especially for you ladies. Weighing yourself sucks on a consistent basis. It's awful, but guess what else it does? Holds you accountable. It literally will absolutely get you in the mind frame of, I need to be going in a different direction if I'm weighing myself every single week. Or it will show your progress and give you motivation for those weeks that are kind of tough.
Yeah, and the scale is not the end all be all, but it's a very important, easy to track metric to know if you're on track and heading the right direction or not. So there you guys go. There's our tips on how to get your macros right, how to fuel yourself for energy so you can get out there and crush it at work and for your family at home as well.